ARION and the Dolphin. Arion the musician lived at the court of Periander, king of Corinth. He was a great favourite, for he could make such sweet music with his lyre and sing such beautiful songs that everyone loved and honoured him. One day, Arion heard that there was to be a great musical festival in Sicily. He went to King Periander and begged permission to take his lyre overseas with him and try to win the prizes offered for the sweetest music. "Do not go, Arion," said Periander. "Stay here with me, for I shall miss you sadly if you go far away. There is no music like yours." But Arion begged so hard to go that at last Periander agreed. At once the musician set off for the far land of Sicily, taking only his lyre with him. He easily won all the prizes offered, and was crowned the king of music. Then, laden with gold and jewels, he prepared to return to Corinth, eager to see his friend Periander and to show him his treasures. He hired a ship to take him home, and prayed for fine weather. The gods answered his prayer for a calm sea, but the voyage was not a fortunate one for Arion. The sailors on the ship caught sight of all the gold and the jewels that the singer had with him, and at once they began to plan to get it for themselves. "We will kill him and take his wealth," they said. "No one will know, for Corinth is far from Sicily. We will say that we have left him happy and famous in that distant land." They went to Arion and bade him make ready for death. "Either we will slay you here and bury you on shore, or you may cast yourself into the sea," they said. "If it is my wealth that has turned you into pirates, take it for yourselves," said Arion. "But as for me, let me go, I pray you. Only give me my lyre. That is all the treasure I need." The rough sailors laughed. "You will have to die," they said. "If we take your wealth and set you free, you will tell King Periander what we have done, and we shall be punished. Oh, no, you must die. Choose quickly whether we shall slay you, or whether you shall cast yourself into the waves." "I will throw myself into the sea," said Arion. "But first, grant me a wish. Let me dress myself in my loveliest garments, those which I wore when I was crowned king of music in Sicily, and let me sing one last song. Then I will do as you wish." The pirates would not have granted such a wish, but Arion was so famous that they longed to hear his music. So they bade him garb himself as he wished and sing to them. The musician dressed himself in flowing robes of gold and purple, scented his long hair, and placed his golden wreath upon his head. In his left hand he held his lyre, and in his right the slender ivory wand with which he swept the strings. He strode to the side of the vessel, and looking down on the deep blue waves, began his last song. His voice was so beautiful, his song so lovely, and the sounds from his lyre so sweet, that the listening sailors were entranced. Their hearts filled with pity, and almost they repented of their cruelty. When Arion had finished singing, he cast himself into the sea. The ship held steadily on her way, and soon the sailors forgot the pity they had felt, and joked as they divided his wealth between them. Now, so sweet had been the singer's music that a herd of dolphins had been attracted to the ship. They had swum behind it, listening eagerly, enchanted by the delicious sounds that came on the breeze. When Arion threw himself into the water, they saw him and came swimming round him. The biggest dolphin of all knew Arion to be the maker of the sounds he had loved. he swam up to him and offered his broad back to the struggling musician. Gladly, Arion climbed upon it, and holding his precious lyre safely out of the water, marvelled at his good fortune. Swiftly the dolphin swam towards the nearest coast. Hour after hour he swam, whilst Arion composed a song in honour of his strange steed, singing it as he was borne along through the restless waves. Then, at last, land came in sight, and the dolphin parted from his rider on the shore. Arion saw the towers of Corinth in the distance, and hastened towards them, singing as he went. He had forgotten his lost wealth, and was happy to think that he would soon see his friend Periander once again. When he arrived at the court, the king took him in his arms and embraced him, delighted to see his musician back in safety. "I come to you once more," said Arion, "but alas, Periander, I cannot show you the gold and the jewels that I gained in Sicily, for the pirates in my ship stole it all away, and I should have drowned if it had not been for a kindly dolphin that brought me to the land." Periander listened in amazement as Arion told him all his story. When he heard of the cruel sailors, he was very angry. "I will punish them," he cried. "When they come to Corinth, I will command them to appear at court, and I will ask them what has become of you. You shall conceal yourself, and appear to them when the right time comes." The next day, the ship sailed into the harbour. The king sent word for the sailors to come to his court, and very soon they arrived. "Have you heard aught of the musician Arion?" asked Periander. "I am anxious for news of him." "He's in the town of Tarentum, well, prosperous and happy," answered the sailors untruthfully. "We left him there, lord, and he bade us tell you of his happiness." At that moment, Arion stepped forth from his hiding-place and faced the amazed sailors. He was dressed in purple and gold, and on his head was a golden wreath. He looked exactly the same as when he had leapt into the sea. The sailors fell flat on their faces in awe and terror. They felt certain that Arion must be a god, for had they not seen him cast himself into the waters? And who but a god could so marvellously appear before them in the same garb? King Periander looked sternly upon the sailors, and they trembled. "Where is the wealth you took from Arion?" asked the king. "Bring it here, and lay it at his feet. Then prepare yourselves for death. Such a crime as yours can have no other reward." The sailors returned all the treasures they had stolen. But when the king would have ordered them to be slain, the musician stepped forward. "Let them live," he said. "I do not want them to die. Banish them to another land, O king. That will be punishment enough." So the wicked sailors took ship once more, and set sail for distant lands, glad to have escaped with their lives.